Hi guys, welcome to the video. So in this video, what we'll talk about today is going to be the barbell chest press. So as always, when we think about what muscle we're using, what we're using today is going to be our chest. Now, how to use that muscle? Very simply, you think of bringing the upper arm across your body. So whether I'm pulling it from a mid position for the middle portion of my chest, from a high to low position, low portion of my chest, and from a low to high position, the upper portion of my chest. But today, we're going to do the compound lift, barbell bench press, working more so the middle portion of your chest. So when doing this exercise, a couple of things you need to understand in regards to the positioning of your body, your hands, and your feet. But what we're going to talk about from the very beginning is going to be the position of the bar in relation to your hand. So when you are doing the exercise, the main thing to think about is you want to have the position of the bar to be roughly, if not in line, with your forearm as much as you can. The further away that bar is from your wrist, the more your wrist will be involved in the exercise, which obviously makes the exercise harder and puts unnecessary strain on the wrist in the first place. So that's with the hands. Now we're going to go up to the bench to talk about the rest of the setup. Now, when you do set yourself up in relation to the bench, the key thing to understand is that you want to get as tight as you possibly can in the exercise to make sure there's no kind of energy leaks or anything like that would make the exercise harder. So basically, do the lift as efficiently as possible in order to lift as much as you possibly can. So what the exercise looks like as a whole, in terms of the setup, so when I'm down here, the main question is, where do I set myself up in relation to the bar? So if you just come over towards me, now there's a lot of things you can do in terms of understanding where to set yourself up. You can use the towel to the ceiling, or you can use the actual bar itself. So the prompt I was taught and the way that I use it, you want to set yourself up in a position where it feels like you're lifting or looking, over the bar. So for me, it's going to be roughly in this position here. Again, it all depends on the individual, but the way I was taught and the way that suits me best in terms of prompting to position my back on the bench is high up enough for me to look over the bar. The next thing is going to be in your upper back position. So loads of different prompts that you can use, but what I'm using here today is going to be shoulders down and shoulders back, just to make sure that I'm in that nice tight position. Or alternatively, imagine there's like a 5-pound note or a triangular block in between your shoulder blades and you're squeezing as hard as you can. So next thing's going to be with your hands and in terms of where they go in relation to the bar. So again, everybody's kind of built differently, but in general, the closer your hands are to the center of the bar, the more triceps you'll be using. The further away, the more chest you'll be using. You kind of want to find that healthy medium to make sure your triceps and your chest are being used at the same time. So quite luckily, most of these bars here, you have little grooves to know exactly where your hands need to be. So the way I set myself up, again, slightly wider and shoulder width apart, pinky on each of the groove. That's roughly where I want to be and where I want to set up. Again, this is my anatomy, so it can change from person to person, but this is how I like to set up. And then you guys at home, when you try this for yourself, find a position that's good for you to make sure you're in a strong, safe position to use both your chest and your triceps. So again, shoulders down, shoulders back. Hands are here in this position. And again, making sure the bar is positioned directly underneath my wrist in the kind of paddy area on my actual hand itself. So resting in the paddy area of the wrist, or of the hand, sorry. From here, I'm going to break the bar in half by externally rotating. And you'll see from here, my elbows are going to cock downwards towards the body, which will, at the same time, switch on my lats to, again, add further stiffness to the upper portion of the body. The next thing to do is actually with your glutes. So what I tend to do, in terms of set with your legs, you're going to slide yourself across the bench while pushing yourself into the bench to make sure, again, more tightness in the body. Then whilst everything here is tight, you're going to put your legs behind your body like so and extend from the glutes. Now the prompt, I want you to imagine that if the floor wasn't in the way, my legs should cock forward like so. So you should have the same intention of kicking your feet into the ground, which allows you to further get extra tension by squeezing your glutes, adding towards the tension you already have in the upper portion of your body from the shoulders down, shoulders back, as well as breaking the bar in half. So now the lift itself, as always, deep breath in, push it up from there. So what's unique about the bench press close to every other lift is that ideally you always want the bar to go straight up and straight down. The difference here now, just because the way the shoulders are built, if I were to go straight down and straight up, if we go to the side of me, just to see what that looks like. If I was to go straight down and straight up, you'll see here I will lose that position of my elbows. which then means I lose tightness in my upper body, which then obviously means that I'm losing a lot of energy during the lift. So what you see from here, when I am doing the exercise, there's going to be a slight curve forwards or down my body and returning back to the start position, kind of like an S or like a curve going down my body. So from here, the correct way you'll see is that there's a slight curve down my body, and then returning back to start position, the curve straight back up. Again, just to show the differences here again, we're going straight down, straight up, losing the elbow position, versus breaking the bar in half again, but doing that curve as mentioned beforehand, and then pressing straight back up. Now, in terms of where the bar needs to go to in relation to your body, a good prompt I like you guys to use is, when you do bring your bar down to that best position that suits for you, with an empty bar ideally, just remember that pressure you have in your chest and use that as an indicator to always return back to that position when you are doing the exercise. And then racking from that. So that is what the technique is for the bench press. Again, I'm not putting any weight on there, but the most important thing is the moment you start to put more weight on the bar, you really want to think about the positions you want to be in to be as strong as possible and to lift as efficiently as possible. And that's how to do the bench press. So again, if you like the content, like, comment, subscribe, share, follow, all that kind of good stuff, and have a nice day.